Hey guys, I'm sure you might have noticed that I have taken a little bit of time off of socials. We've had a lot of stuff going on recently that has just been really heavy, and I've just been working through all of it. But I did want to come on today and share a little bit of what's been going on. My mom is here, so in a minute I'm gonna actually sit down with my mom and have her kind of tell you the news and explain some of this stuff, so that you guys can just be praying about some specific stuff. And because I'm probably just not in the headspace right now that I can say the words without just like crying through it. So it's good that my mom's here, and we'll sit down and fill you guys in a minute. We got mom here. She's kind of good at details and staying unemotional. So
yeah, comparatively,
yes.
I've done that pretty well through my life. So we would like to ask your prayers for the health of Rachel's daddy, Bill Wynn, because he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. This is new, so he has had some kind of new age surgeries done for prostate issues, and as of at least April of 22, he did not have cancer. He had prostate issues but had no cancer. So Bill is 78. So as a 78-year-old man, they don't always check for prostate cancer, just because the type of cancer that it is. 80% of the time, it's extremely slow growing. 20% of the time, it's aggressive. You don't want to be in the 20%. On the 27th of July, he went in for biopsies because he had an elevated PSA count. Your PSA count changes.
You don't have to give them like all the details.
Just let me, and you can cut it out what you want. It changes, but it should never be as high as his was. His was 6.5, which is definitely elevated. The doctor really didn't think that it was cancer. He just thought it was because of some other issues he has with his prostate. So we were just being optimistic, and we didn't tell you or Will or Julie or anyone else at all. And then Monday, Bill got the call from the doctor that in
Last
fact,
Monday, not
Monday the 31st.
not today. Yeah.
So it's been a week today. Monday the 31st, he got the call that in fact it's positive for prostate cancer.
Hi, Daddy.
Is that right? Is that what you think? So I then spent the next 3 days hustling because the doctor wanted to do some scans fairly fast. Again, you have an 80%, 20% chance. So the kind of scans they were looking for, like CT scans in your lower areas, with contrast and without, and a full body bone scan, which is radioactive stuff. But the first set of scans came through, and I am not an MD, I'm a numbers chick, I know nothing about medicine. However, I have family in it, and I read what I thought, sent it off to family, and said, what do you think? It says, we think you can lean optimistically. So that was just the CT scans. What they're looking for is to make sure it hasn't metastasized. That's the biggest concern. And those looked clear from a civilian reading it, but I don't know. I guess I told you on Thursday, didn't I? I told you on Thursday. Rachel had called to tell me about something else that was not well in our family that I'm sure she'll share at another point. And I said, well, it has been one heck of a bad week. And told her and her brother and sister at that time. And so I had known since Monday. I told them on Thursday. Scans are on Friday. CT scans looked good without knowing. And the doctor called Bill and said, are you in extreme pain? And Bill goes, no, I'm just really tired. Why? And goes, you have kidney stones, and you have one that is partially blocked that is trying to work its way out. You should be in severe pain. Bill thinks, I've been in pain so much, I don't know the difference.
He's gone through so much.
So he got prescribed something to help with that, drinking a lot of water. I read the bone scan stuff, and it said there was renal activity. Well, that was kidney, so that makes logical sense, right? But it says he has some degenerative disc, which you can relate to. So
Yeah,
maybe
that
that's
hurts right now.
maybe that's where you're getting your back issues from. But it looked positive to me that it was not metastasized. Now, that's my take on it. Again, I sent it to some cousins that told me their take on it, but that's not what they do specifically. So I am headed home now in the rain because we meet with his oncologist at 8:30 in the morning. And then we should know the treatment plans. There's wide ranges. His age will be part of it, but Bill is reasonably healthy for being 78. His mother lived to be 94, but his father died young and his sister and brother died when they were 42. So it's like roll the dice at this point. But from what I've read and what the different treatment options are, one is watch and wait. We won't do that. I'm way too proactive to do something like that. There's something called active surveillance, which means they're taking more PSA counts, more biopsies, and they would do that as long as they think that if it needs to, you could do treatment. So I'm kind of hoping we're leaning that direction. There is immune therapy that does not cure the cancer. Don't touch it, buddy. But what it does do is slow it down. And that might be with the active surveillance only, hopefully to shrinking his little prostate. Then there's radiation. There's different kinds. There's seed radiation, which I think we would probably want to do. And then there's surgery. Of course, now they do robotic surgeries. There's so much. It's all on the table. It's just all out there.
So essentially on Tuesday we find out like
Tomorrow at 8:30,
how bad it is,
the
right?
doctor will tell us what level it is. He'll tell us if it's metastasized. Give us some suggestions.
We're just guessing off
We
of
are
what we've
totally guessing.
read.
I would pray, if I could, that it's localized. I won't know, it either is or it isn't, but pray that it's localized. And if it's not localized, then pray for the wisdom of the doctors to point us in the right direction for the right treatment for him. So,
Well, even if it is localized, you still have to treat it.
definitely, you treat it.
Yeah.
You treat it, but if it's not localized, it'll be aggressive and it would take even far more. So, I don't ever want to scare you to tell this. Oh, he's taking pictures. Jeez, buddy. 8:30 in the morning, I'll know.
By the time you guys are watching this, I should already know kind of, the extent of things. And I'll let you guys know, in the next video. But we just wanted to share so that you guys could be praying for us, obviously, because it's my dad. And
Right.
I love him.
I told Julie, her sister, who's a nurse, she cried. I told Rachel, she cried. She's going to cry again. I told my son, who's named for Bill, and he was kind of matter of fact, worried, very worried, but he's more like me. We're just like, okay, what can we do to handle this now? And we can get emotional later. I can't get emotional when I'm trying to fix things. So it was a good break to get to come be with my monsters.
We said bye to my mom, but I just want to take a minute just to kind of talk about kind of how I'm feeling and stuff. As you could, I'm sure, see in that video, I think I tried to say like one thing, and actually speaking, words about it, it's just still too hard for me. So for now, we're just gonna kind of leave it at what my mom has shared, and I will do my best to share what I can when we find out more information on Thursday. And really the purpose of sharing this was to just have you guys praying for my dad, because you guys know that we just love him so much, and my kids love him so much, and we just want him to be here with us. And then on top of that, which is a very huge thing, we have just had some other things that have happened. I think about 2 weeks ago now. I never even got a chance to share this with you guys, but I did share it on Instagram. Wyatt fell off one of our kitchen bar stools, which the kid falls off chairs all the time, like bumps his head, like he's always doing stuff. But this was a time that Harold was at work, or not at work, he was at work, but he was out of town. And so he was out of town, and Wyatt, it was obviously me and the kids, and Wyatt had fallen off, And so I checked him like I always do when anybody bumps their head or, you know, they hurt their hand, whatever. And when I looked in the back of it, there was blood, and then I looked a little bit more, and I could see it was like a really big wound, and that it was gonna need stitches. And it was just, I feel okay talking about that incident now because I've had a little bit more time to process through that, but it was so emotional for me because, like I said, Harold was out of town. He was actually like getting on an airplane. Harold was my emergency contact, you know. It's like my parents don't live here. Harold's parents kind of do, but they're both like an hour away, so it's not like they could get to me quick. I always have the 4 kids, and so I ended up calling our neighbor, who was amazing. She came over and helped with the whole situation. We took Wyatt in, and he got stitches in the back of his head. He was so brave. Funny enough, he was actually wearing his Batman costume, like full-on Batman costume. I wish I would have taken a picture of it just for his own like memory's sake, because the boys were playing dress up and stuff. And so like we go there and he's full-on wearing Batman, and they were really good. So that has now healed up and has done really well. So I think that's why I feel better finally being able to talk about that more, because it has healed and he feels, you know, he's doing good, and it feels like there's a little bit of a conclusion to that. For a while after that, I just couldn't even speak about it. Same thing about my dad, since that's obviously very fresh. Like speaking words, you know, to it, talking about the incident would make me just so emotional. So I'm trying not to kind of put myself back in that moment. But I mean, it's just the worst thing in the world, when your children get hurt. So that happened, you know, 2 weeks ago, and we did have another incident, which I'm just not ready to talk about now. It's like the same thing with my dad. It's too fresh, and I don't want to sit here and just like bawl on camera. So I will, you know, share with you, you know, when I feel okay. But right now, just with all of that, like I even had to tell Harold, I was like I might look like I'm okay, you know, and the distractions are good for me. You know, we could be laughing as a family or doing something, going to church, this or that, but I'm still not okay, you know, like, see, I don't even want to talk about it too much. I'm still working through everything and processing a lot of it, and so I'll find myself just like in those moments, you know, like last night after Harold had, you know, we were just like chatting normal, and then like he went to sleep, and then I just started crying. You know, it was like my like quiet moments where I'm still like processing, and it's just a lot. So if you would also just pray for my mama heart and my daughter heart, because I just love my family so much, and you guys know. So there's that. I don't want to cry. So I'm gonna end this here. I love you guys. I know that there are those of you who are just like prayer warriors and have been around for so long, and you know like how much my dad means to me. You know what I've written about him in the book. You know, my biggest fears were, all that stuff. I don't need to talk about it now. You guys who have been here, you really know. And so that's why I wanted to share, so that, you know, you could just know what I'm walking through right now. And of course, just be praying for him. So, love you guys. I hope you are doing well. Hopefully on Thursday, I'll have some news to share that hopefully the cancer is localized, and we'll have a plan of action. So love God, love people, make a difference, and be faithful.